Let me get into my argument for why Christianity makes better societies than Islam, and it's pretty simple. Islamic societies breed an inbred population. Next slide, please. Muslim inbreeding has been occurring at a high rate for about 1,400 years since the early Islamic period, encompassing most of the land still occupied by Islam today. It spread from the 8th to the 15th century, moved into Persia, North Africa, South Asia, where it remains and has created some of the dumbest human beings on planet Earth.
Before we get started, let me show you a quick clip of Rosie O'Donnell talking to some dude, podcaster guy, about how she gave her autistic daughter Trump derangement syndrome. And then we'll get into this.
Tell you the truth, my daughter is now saying, damn him, damn Trump, and smashing her hand on the table. And I said, wow, honey, what are you thinking? And she said, he made us move in order for our own safety. And it's now he's destroying the country. You know, listen,
wow.
She lives here. She here.
Nobody made them move. No, this is, the daughter's repeating the crazy talk that lady's saying. That lady left and went to Ireland, I think, and screwed Ireland up. They're pissed. That's the reason why Ireland is mad at Trump, because of Trump being in the United States and being president, just doing some stuff. She moved to Ireland and made it worse, and they're like, damn you, Trump. But anyways, here we go.
Here's what I'm saying to you. Not that I go around speaking like this every day if it's not an interview, but I think to myself, you don't want to give this to her.
You already gave it to her.
You know, whatever
the TDS is strong.
Of me thinking that I have to somehow stand in defiance of him. No, I don't. Somebody can tap me out, you know.
Yeah.
I did 22 years. I don't really need to do anymore. And I don't want my kid to be so affected by it. And, you know, she has autism.
But she recognizes what's going on.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, doesn't Rosie O'Donnell how did she have this child? If I'm not mistaken, the kind of lifestyle that she practices makes her an open candidate for the HPV virus in her throat, if you know what I mean. So did she adopt this child? Did she adopt this child to ruin this child's life? That should be a part of an adoption pamphlet when you answer the questionnaire. Are you a felon? Do you have such and such? Are you in Pennsylvania? Have you diddled children? Are you a TDS person? You know, pretty wild stuff. Anyways, let's roll into these articles. So, you know, this person who took the life of a National Guardsman and another one in serious condition right now is definitely to blame 100% for what happened there. But I think that there's a lot of people missing the mark here. When you have, like I said in the other videos, I know I'll repeat myself a little bit, but I can't help it because I just have to try my best to explain what's going on. We need to not forget that there's these CIA ties keep popping up, and it's very alarming because CIA is a Central Intelligence Agency. That means their job is to know things, to understand stuff, and take in information and do things with that. And we're under the premise that they would do great things with that information. They would use that information to make the world a stable place. But in all actuality, from what I've taken in the last little bit, actually a lot of it, they've used this information in a kinetic way to destroy things. And I'll talk a little bit about the thing going on in Tennessee with that Afton chick, whatever her last name is now. And you're not going to stick around for that. I'm going to have you fired up. Oh my goodness. But let me read to you about what's going on with this dude here. So this dude has a brother that we know about because there was some mobile devices and electronic devices that were seized from the brother. The brother of DC National Guard shooter was an elite CIA platoon leader. I'll get right here in a minute, guys. But this dude here that committed this heinous crime, who entered the United States in 2021 under Biden's rushed Operation Allies Welcome program after claiming to aid U.S. forces against the Taliban, began his career in the Zero Unit in 2012 as a security guard. Okay, so there's a timeline here, and somebody in my comment section has brought that to my attention. He's 29 years old, and it started this stuff in 2012. I'll try to do the math while we speak, but that's 29. That's 10 years of 2002. That would be 19, 2000. So it's 2011. So that puts him at a relatively young age. Yeah. So anyhow, he advanced to roles as a team leader and a GPS specialist operating in a volatile southern province in Kandahar. His brother, who has not been publicly identified, reportedly held a higher position as a platoon leader in the unit and now resides in America thanks to Biden. The administration allowed the over 100,000 Afghans into the United States amid the 2021 withdrawal chaos. This dude, his name is there, but I'm not making him famous. I'm sorry, guys. I don't like to say his name. I don't want his family halal and all to hell and back. But anyhow, he arrived with his wife and 5 children, and President Trump has not ruled out deporting the family, stating his team is looking at the right to do that, looking at that right now. This dude, this Kandahar resident that identifying as this person who committed this crime's cousin. I don't want to name this person because I don't want to make him famous. I do not want him halal and his family and family halal. Woo woo. So I'm not naming this dude, but we all know who it is. Told the Associated Press that his brothers has served in Kandahar with CIA-backed force. A former Zero Unit official, speaking anonymously, corroborated the brothers' leadership role. The Zero Units were elite Afghan commando teams funded and trained by the CIA, known for high-risk operations against the Taliban, but also criticized for alleged human rights abuses during the war. Okay, all right, moving down a little bit here. It says, the cousin spoke to the Associated Press and the condition of the anonymity for fear of reprisals, he said, had started out working as a security guard. This dude that did this terrible crime had started out working as a security guard for the unit in 2012 and was later promoted to become team leader and GPS specialist. Zero units were paramilitary units manned by Afghans, but backed by the CIA, that also served in frontline fighting with CIA paramilitary officers. Activists had attributed abuses to the units. So crazy stuff going on in there. They played a key role in the chaotic U.S. withdrawal from the country, providing security around Kabul International Airport as the Americans withdrew from the country. Very, 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 very strange ties to everything. And it says Beckstrom, 20, she was unalived, and her colleague, 24-year-old, was wounded. I'm just reading through some of the stuff. Very, just how does this not be a thing? How do you, as the CIA, Central Intelligence Agency, not have any clue that something like this was about to happen? And also all of this unsurfaced people who have been out there doing some real digging and found Google searches related to these people, a few months prior to this. Very ironic. And, Trump says that he's going to end all this stuff. We are being forced to fund our own destruction. A massive amount of taxpayer dollars behind Afghan resettlement program that brought National Guard shooter to the U.S. We paid for this, by the way. We paid for this. And we're going to continue to pay for it. There's laws that have set this in place that were signed by AutoPen. So I don't know if that's going to be a thing or not, but yeah, we paid for this. I just don't understand. Just keep going back to this one thing. How does one extremely well-off Central Intelligence Agency do such a botched, accidental? We just lost him on our radar. We had no idea that this was going to happen. This was so crazy, guys. Man, we're so sorry. What kind of distraction is this posing right now? Wonder what's going on behind the scenes that we're so focused on this right now that's going on. I mean, we're hyper focused on this one thing, and it's causing a lot of these sleeper cells, I guess it's a good and a bad thing, because a lot of these sleeper cells are now starting to fear their deportation and their status in the United States being pulled and being sent back home. And so that's making them have to, they're coming out and acting in ways so we see who they are. I guess that's a good thing. But the problem that we're running into is every time a tragic event like this takes place, you can almost bet that there are or something is going on in the background that is going to be very significant, and we'll find out after this is all over when the dust settles. Now, quickly, I want to show you a clip of this representative who's running for Congress in Nashville, and I'm going to explain to you what's happening and why this is happening and what we need to be very aware of. Okay, check this out. You see this video that's been passed all around Twitter's, Facebook, and everything with her being drugged out of I think the governor's office. And there was also a video of her, I can't find it right now, but circulating where she was in the House floor of the Senate floor of the state. And she was going at the top of her lungs about something. And what we don't realize, this video was back in 2019. And it involved a basketball coach that was doing harm to the underage people that were on the team. Now, girls, they were. She's nuts. Don't get me wrong. She's crazy. She's 100% out there in La La Land. But what we're failing to realize is the Republican Party is spineless. They won't fight for anything except for this one country that tends to dictate all of our politics. If you ever watch the Senate floor whenever a certain leader comes in, and the whole Republican Party stands up and cheers, except for Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massey. Those are the only two people who kind of be like, ugh. But anyways, she will actually get up and make some noise. She will make whether or not she's able to pull this off or not. But she's telling people, "Are you tired of not being able to afford a house, not being able to afford anything?" And right now, the younger generation sees the writing on the wall that everything is overpriced, outpriced. I don't know if she's going to be able to achieve any of these goals. Most of the time, they just lie to their constituents so they can get voted in. She's very progressive. Her ideology is not sustainable. I understand that, but the thing about it is like, at least she is sending a message out there, something that we were receiving at one time when Trump was running for president. We were feeling that same vibe that something was going to happen, a big change was going to happen. It might not be what would revamp the economy, revamp America, would be arresting and getting out the rot that's in our political climate, in our political environment, that's causing these problems where we can't get ahead because they're just so involved in their own financial gain, their own personal power gain. And she's into that too, by the way, but her constituents don't understand that. But she puts on a good show where it looks like something's going to happen. Our Republican Party is right in front of our faces, siding with Democrats against Americans, not doing anything at all to help America. Very, very, I mean, we've got some stuff that's happening, but I mean, it's happening so slow. Whenever Biden was sworn into office after they manipulated the election, one of many, because they've been doing it for 20 years and up to 72 countries, and you can actually look this up. This is real, coming out of Venezuela and other countries that facilitated these machines. It took them about all of 15 minutes to arrest hundreds of people. As soon as Biden was sworn in and got Merrick Garland in, but boom, 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 boom. And they went through this like a robotic machine, just bam, 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 bam. And whether or not it was lawfare, they did exactly what they said they were going to do. We are not. We've got a useless Department of Justice that is probably going to actually prosecute people within itself if you see what's going to happen to Kristi Noem, because she only enforced the law. We've got an FBI that's openly lying to us about everything related to the Charlie Kirk assassination. You're going to find out what's going to happen here. I hope I'm wrong about this, but whenever they actually go in and start looking into the thing that happened with these two guardsmen, you're going to find out there's going to be massive cover-ups because it involves the CIA, and there's no way in the world the FBI is going to rat out their own. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. You're going to just pretend like this is a lone shooter. such and such. They might grab a couple of little doodads up here and there, but it isn't going to be anything significant because those people might blow the whistle, and they're going to protect their own. So there's going to be a lot of they'll actually probably allow, I predict, the people involved in these guardsmen's assassination will be able to be deported with no activist judge doing anything about it, because they understand that if they prosecute these people or bring these people up front in the camera, they're going to say something, and they don't want that to happen. So they're going to allow these people to do. That's the only circumstance I can see that's actually plausible, but there's still going to be a huge cover up. And these progressives in Nashville and other places are seeing this, and they're just trying to figure out some kind of way. They're seeing people make a noise, make some kind of motion, and they watch the Republican Party just sit there and clap for a country who wants us to pledge like $44 billion within the next few years to them to help them get us in more entwined by bringing more of these Muslims over here. So Afton Ben may look weak, but I'm going to tell you something right now. You're going to find out just where we're headed, people, because you got to, think about with Zoran Momdani and all these crazy people that have been brought in. Think about what's happening with other states that are just moved, like Gavin Newsom. So everybody wants to make fun of her, but I think that you need to be a little more aware of what's going on around you, and your message needs to change. Republican Party, you need to start to unite. You need to start working for the people, doing something. And the Republican Party, you actually gained so much support from independents and Democrats that switched over because they thought that there was something that was going to be done, and they're watching it not happen. Trump's losing support from both sides. His own party is leaving him because it's sad but true. The statement that he made after the Epstein files didn't exist anymore. They were non-existent. No Epstein files. It's a hoax. Go away. Don't. If you support me and you want to see the Epstein files, I don't need your support. That's what Donald Trump said, and I still support the guy. Sort of. I mean, I'm telling you right now, I want to see some action. That's all I'm saying. Things ain't like they used to be, guys. Anyways, that's what I wanted to get the message across. I don't support this chick. I don't want her to become a progressive in Nashville because she hates Tennessee. She hates Nashville. She hates all the culture there. But what we fail to realize is a lot of the culture that's there now isn't what it used to be. I'm old. I'm 45 years old. I'm an old fart. Not really, but compared to these young people, I am. They look at me like, sir. And so their beliefs, their ideology, their wants, their needs have completely changed. They've watched the world change around them. They watched nothing get done, political rot, corruption, and they're just going to do whatever they can to try to fight for a little scrap. And that's actually how communism works and becomes intertwined with society. And once it's there, it's hard to get out. You vote your way in, but you fight your way out. That's an old saying when it comes to communism. And these progressives know this, but whenever the ones that are involved in this are gaining power, they love it. But the people that feel the brunt of the power gain that comes from these communists being brought into the mix hate it once it's here. They wish they'd never done it. But once it's in, it's too late. Just go watch if you don't like reading books, go watch the movie 1984 on VHS. Watch the movie and then watch how it coincides with things happening right now. You will be like, oh my goodness. Thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of the weekend, and I'll update you with more information as soon as I get it.